You guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, you need to. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to Mimesis, where art and life imitate each other in all sorts of twisted ways. I'm Sandra Sheriff Ackerley.
And I'm Stacey Rourke.
And we are your hosts on this zany adventure.
Now you can woohoo.
Woohoo!
She considers it a win every time she gets through that intro. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
It's a little wins, right?
Yes. I get to start our second episode in a row with an apology. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Someday I won't have to do this. And it's about the same episode, the Stranger Things episode. I called Chrissy Cindy, and one of our listeners pointed that out to me. So I am sorry. I really did watch the show. I really did love the show, but I was so livid that day about, everything that was going on in the news. I think I had my mind other places. So I apologize for that. And thank you for calling it to my attention.
Yeah. We make mistakes sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah. A lot of times.
A lot of times.
But it was wonderful to have Janelle from Greek Mythology Retold.
Yes, it was a blast.
Retold. Yes.
Retold.
She's Retold, yes. She's incredibly brilliant, and it was wonderful to have her here educating us.
Yeah, and to find out like the mimesis of Troy.
Yep. And there's whispers that she's going to have us on her podcast soon, so that would be fun.
Woohoo! That'll be lots of fun.
You're a woo girl.
I know, I told you.
She's a woo girl.
Yes.
So what's going on with you? Give ourselves a couple minutes here before we get started.
It's been busy. I just got Emma back from her being gone for 2 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
Pretty excited about that.
Yeah. That had to be a heck of a hug when you saw her.
Oh, it was. It was definitely for little guy. He would not let her go. He was so excited to see his big sister.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's attached to her hip now?
Yeah, completely. Like, they played games when they got home and just cuddled. I was like, this is the best. And then, like, about 20 minutes later, the fighting started. And I was like, there we go. We're back to normal.
There it is. And now we're back to normal.
Yep.
That's about right with kids.
But otherwise, just trying to get everything ready to come see you.
Oh, girl, my anxiety is through the roof. For those that don't know, we are less than 2 weeks away from Once Upon a Book.
Yes.
The book event that I host. And now we're getting down to the wire. And I'm at that point where my mind is freaking out about every tiny detail.
Yeah.
So sleeping, eating, those kind of things are non-existent. But I did have last night, my friend Jen kidnapped me for the night, and she took me over to the Hard Rock in Orlando to watch the comedian Celeste. Oh my gosh, I'm going to forget her last name. Hold on.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
What was her name? Celeste. Oh, I got to Google it. She's super funny. I know you guys have seen her. She's the one that does the, she recreates celebrity pictures. Celeste Barber. Like celebrities do like these seductive, sexy pictures, and then with like her mom bod, she recreates them in all sorts of hilarious
I think I know
ways.
who you're talking about now. Yeah.
So we went to see her last night, and she was hysterical. If you get a chance to see her in person, I highly recommend it. And it was wonderful. Jen listens to our podcast, and it was wonderful to be kidnapped for a night and made to just relax. And take a breath.
Yeah.
There was 2 funny stories I wanted to share with you.
Yes, please.
I'm not on vacation. I live here. Okay.
Right.
But in Orlando, when you go to places like that, there's a lot of people there that are on vacation. They're there to live it up and party.
Yeah.
So I went up to the bar. We had enough time to grab a quick drink and go sit down. So I ordered my regular rum and Diet Coke, no ice. Now, a lot of bartenders will tell you, it's going to be mostly Diet Coke. I can't pour more rum in it than usual.
Right.
And the guy
Unless
said,
you order a double.
Yeah. The guy said, this is going to be a lot of Diet Coke. Is that all right? Because I say no ice. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I just don't like ice in my drinks. And this lady behind me, really loud, was like, oh, he let her know she's not going to get a free shot. You know, she's like making fun of me and being super loud. So the bartender like made eye contact with me as he poured, and he was pouring the rum and the Diet Coke at the same time. And I'm not kidding you. He did like that motion where they like go down and up, like splashing in the alcohol. But he did that with the Coke and the Diet Coke and the rum at the same time, like 3 times. And then just topped it off with a little bloop of Diet Coke and passed it to me. And even Jen, like watching this, like she leans over in this really quiet voice and was like, that's a lot of rum.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That lady hooked you up.
Well, I was like, I have to drive home, sir. You didn't need to prove anything to her. What are you doing, man? I hope this show goes long.
Right.
So that was my first funny story for the night. The other funny story, I listen to a ton of true crime. I watch true crime shows. I listen to true crime podcasts. Like, that's my jam all the time.
Yeah.
But because of that, always, I'm very aware of where I am and what's going on around me. And I was a single woman alone walking in a parking ramp at night by myself, which is creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was in the Jaws section of the Universal Studios parking ramp, and they had the frickin' Jaws music playing. I'm walking through the parking ramp at night by myself hearing dun, dun, dun. I'm like, I'm gonna pee myself. This is so scary. That's ominous at night, man. Turn that off.
That's perfect. That's amazing.
Like, karma was just fucking with me last night. That's what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I got in the car. But no, I have to top this off with what my dumbass actually did. Okay, you want to know how into true crime I am? I got to my car. I opened the back hatch of my Jeep. I checked the back hatch. I opened the back door. I checked it. I opened the front door, checked, got in, locked my door behind me.
I'm so proud of you.
I checked every available inch of that car before I climbed in.
I am so proud of you.
There was no intruders and there was no sharks in my car, so we're good.
Awesome.
And I should not be let outside at night by myself.
No. Not at all. But I love that so much. It just has to make you laugh and just, okay, I needed that laugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying an umbrella the entire time, so I'm like wielding it like a sword as I'm checking the different parts of my car. I will poke you very hard with the end of my umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's my goofy ass.
I love you so much.
Ma'am, what do you have? What mimesis are we talking about today?
We are talking about Public Enemies. Like the 2009 Johnny Depp movie.
Oh, you had me at Johnny Depp.
I know.
And this is like old time gangsters too, right?
Yes. It's about like John Dillinger, Pretty Boy Floyd, Babyface Nelson. Like,
oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, this one's a good one.
Is this like around the time of Prohibition, or is this before or after that?
It was so the 1920s, and it does say Public Enemy era from the 1920s to the 1930s, where
the 1920s was Prohibition, so yes, he would be from the Prohibition time,
where a time of rising crime, driven at first by prohibition and then after it repeated, taking on a life of its own. The 1930s was a period of famous gangsters such as John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, Bonnie and Clyde, Pretty Boy Floyd, Machine Gun Kelly, and M.A. Barker.
Oh, we need to do
There's
one on
so
Bonnie
many.
and Clyde too. Oh.
Yes. There are so many different movies we could do.
I know. We have so many to do. I keep coming up with new ideas for episodes, and I'm like, pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. I'm
So-
ready. Let's dig into some old-time gangstas.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth of like the movie and then like the pieces because there are so much of like the real stuff and the movie.
Yeah, we love it.
There's so much
We
that
love
happened.
tying in the real stuff. It's so good.
Yeah. So the film opens in 1933 as John Dillinger, Johnny Depp. I mean, I gotta say it. I love
Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Is brought to Indiana State Prison by his partner, John Red Hamilton, under the disguise of a prisoner drop with Dillinger posing as a prisoner. Inside the prison, several gang members, Charles McLay, I think that's how you pronounce it, Harry Prypoint, Ed Schaus, Homer Van Meter, and Walter Dietrich acquired guns smuggled into the prison inside boxes of thread that's sent to the prisoner's factory, with which they take the guards hostage. And hold on. I need to make this bigger because I'm having a really hard time reading it.
Do you need your bifocals?
I have them in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it time for a stronger prescription?
I think so. Okay. So at that moment, the other inmates come in. They force the guards to take their uniforms at gunpoint. Everything is going as planned until Schaus suddenly beats a guard to death in a fit of rage, and another guard gets shot. A running shootout ensues, and the men run towards a waiting car. Unfortunately, a sniper shoots and Dietrich gets shot in the back of the head, and Dillinger kicks him out of the car.
Oh.
So Dillinger did escape.
Is that
Prison.
how it happened? They really did smuggle guns into the prison?
It's said that they don't know if it was a real gun or if it was a fake gun.
Oh. Why
Yeah.
do I kind of wish it was a fake gun? Because that makes it like, I don't know. Something about that I find more compelling. But then again, like a guard got beat to death, and that's not okay.
Right. And I don't think that actually happened.
Okay.
So in real life, on January 25th, 1934, Dillinger and his gang were captured in Tucson, Arizona. He was extradited to Indiana and escorted back by Matt Leach, the chief of the Indiana State Police. Dillinger was taken to the Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana, and imprisoned to face charges for the murder of a policeman who was killed during a Dillinger gang bank robbery. Bank robbery?
Bank robbery.
Bank robbery.
Can we call them that from now on? That's jaunty. It's a bank robbery.
A bank robbery. In East Chicago on January 15th, 1934. So this is only 10 days later.
But that's at the time that they didn't like even wear masks when they went in for bank robberies. They like dressed in hats and suits and coats and
Right. And like trench coats so that they could hide the guns.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
came in and shot up the place.
Yes.
And they were like, "You tell him that, so and so and his gang were here." They didn't even care. They had
didn't care at
exactly
all.
no fucks to give back then.
Yeah. None. So on March 3rd, 1934, Dillinger was able to escape during morning exercise with 15 other inmates.
Wow.
Yeah. So Dillinger produced a pistol, catching deputies and guards by surprise, and he was able to leave the premises without firing a shot.
Okay, so nobody was actually
No.
and
Nobody
the
was
guard
actually
wasn't
hurt.
beaten to death.
No.
I really want it to be a toy gun then.
Almost immediately afterwards, they began to try to figure out if the gun was real or not. And the FBI files indicate that he used a carved fake pistol from like shelving in his cell.
So many people got in trouble for that. They were like, guys,
Yes.
that wasn't even a real gun.
Yes. But his lawyer, Louis Paquette, claimed to have that the investigator, Art O'Leary, claimed to have sneaked the gun in himself. So there's back and forth, but I really like to think that it was fake.
I do too. I like to think that he carved it out of something and
yeah. Like that's
and escaped that way.
Yeah. Because then he just like I have a gun. But they knew he was like dangerous. He was like one of the top Yeah.
That's funny. I know nothing about any of this, and I haven't even seen, like, I just Googled pictures of him in this movie, and I was like, why have I not seen that?
Dude, I saw this movie when I was down in Florida when I was doing my internship at Disney.
Okay.
Like, I took one of my nights off and went over to the theater and went and watched this and, like, swooned. I swear. And it's like, you're not supposed to like that.
Did you say I swooned?
Yes.
With an M?
I swooned. No, I said swooned.
You said swooned.
Maybe I did.
I swooned. But that was at the time that I had very young babies.
Yeah, they were like 3. 2 and 3.
Yeah, there was not a lot of outside stimulation happening for me.
No.
And I really had Veggie Tales. I didn't have a lot going on.
Very true. And I had all the time as I was down there by myself.
Yeah.
I made a few friends, but
if it wasn't a Disney movie or Veggie Tales, then it wasn't happening in my house at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to the theater that they like do the dine-in.
That's a fun theater. I like that one.
It is. I do. I like that one. But it was all about Johnny Depp. Like that was my true, I am so in love with Johnny Depp because like Pirates of the Caribbean and like a couple other ones came out at that time.
Did you ever see him in Don Juan DeMarco?
I have not.
Oh, girl. Girl.
Yeah.
Lord of mercy. Just saying. You need to watch that one.
Okay.
Is this a Dillinger episode or is this just love for Johnny Depp? What are we doing here?
It's Dillinger.
Okay. It's love for Johnny Depp.
It's love for Johnny Depp. Okay. So after the shootout, we're going back to the movie.
Okay.
There are some big names in here too, as well. So in East Liverpool, Ohio, Melvin Purvis, Purvis, Purvis. I think.
We are sorry if we say anybody's name wrong. We're doing our best.
He's played by Christian Bale.
Okay.
And
I just watched him in the new Thor movie, by the way.
Is that good?
It's cute. I personally liked Ragnarok better, but Christian Bale in this movie is creepy as all shit. I mean, he's a fantastic actor, but there's parts in this where I was like, dude, he's good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Marvin Purvis and other FBI agents are running down Pretty Boy Floyd, who's played by Channing Tatum.
Really? I didn't know he was in this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the movie?
I did. And there's just so many names and so many gangsters. And like, so this is saying that Purvis killed Pretty Boy Floyd in the movie. However, he didn't die then. He died actually after Dillinger died.
Oh. But in the movie, he died before him.
But in the movie, he died before him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum had to be young when this movie came out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was a wee bairn.
Yeah, he was probably early 20s because this came out in 2009.
Yeah, he had to be really
But
young.
I don't know his age, so
I don't either.
yeah. So Dillinger's gang reaches their hideout, where crooked Chicago cop Martin Zarokvich convinces them to hide out in Chicago, where they can be sheltered by the American mafia. Dillinger exchanged brief words with a mafia car dealer and close acquaintance Ann Sage. So you next see Dillinger, Pry Point, and McClay walking up the stairs into the lobby of a bank in Racine, Wisconsin, wearing dull overcoats and bowler hats. Pry Point, the lobby man, overpowers one of the guards and orders everyone to the floor, while Dillinger leaps over a railing, grabs the bank manager, and says, "Spin the dial," by marching him to the vault at gunpoint. McClay clears money from the tellers into duffel bags. When the manager appeals to be stalling, Dillinger strikes him over the head with a pistol and gives him the choice of being a dead hero or a live coward. The manager complies. Yeah, they weren't playing around.
This is like right after he broke out of prison, he went right back to robbing banks.
Yeah. It said that 12 different bank robberies. I did it again.
You did what again?
I said bank robberies.
Robberies.
Yeah.
12 bank robberies?
12 separate bank robberies.
And like as soon as he got out of prison, he just went right back to it.
Yeah. He didn't care. He wanted all the money. He thought that this would be the last one. The next one would be the last one. They'd get all the money. Kind of like how the Vin Diesel Fast and the Furious, get this next one and that'll be your last. And then, oh no, we got to do another one because something happens.
Oh, something always happens.
Yeah.
There's always one more.
Always. Oh no, it wasn't 12. It was 24.
Oh.
He led the Dillinger gang, which was accused of robbing 24 banks and 4 police stations.
They robbed police stations?
Yep. Dillinger was imprisoned several times and escaped twice. He was charged with, but not convicted of, the murder of an East Chicago Indian police officer. Indiana.
Are you okay?
No, I'm telling you, I can't see. I have it set at like 10 font and it needs to be at like 20.
So what you're saying is you need to up your screen to like the old lady settings where it's really, really big text.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There's no shame in that. It's okay.
No.
Set your screen to granny and we'll keep going.
We did.
What did they take from police stations? Like guns?
I don't know.
What would you even take from a police station?
It would probably have to be guns.
Yeah.
And like maybe records of themselves to like throw it away. I don't know.
Or like stuff that's at the evidence lockers. Like if there's...
Or if they're robbing police stations, maybe their people are in there. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get them out.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But that would be more of like an escape. I wouldn't think you would call it a... I don't think you would call it a robbery.
If you're killing, if you're stealing people, I almost said if you're killing people, it's not called a robbery, but that's not either. If you're stealing people, it's not called a robbery.
Yeah. So it said that the media, and the exaggerated accounts of his bravado and colorful personality casted him as a Robin Hood.
Because it was fascinating. It was new. This makes me think of Joan and Betty. If there's any kind of story, they're going to twist it into something else. And this guy was a horrible criminal, but he was interesting. He sold papers, so let's make him a good guy.
Right. But he was definitely bad and stealing everybody's money.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, there was one line that I laughed at where he looked at an old lady and said, "I'm not here for your money. Put it away. I'm here for the bank's money." Because she was trying to like hold it out and hand it to him.
Yeah.
And that's where it was like, why? I don't know if that was said in real life, but I
Yeah.
could see why people like wanted him to succeed almost.
They were making him something he wasn't.
Yeah.
Did he kill anybody?
It's alleged that he killed 4 people,
Oh,
I
okay.
believe. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, there's got to be, because you're robbing banks and the police are coming after you. I mean, Babyface Nelson did, for sure. He was ruthless.
Who played Babyface Nelson was the one playing by Channing Tatum, right?
No, he was Pretty Boy Floyd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't remember who played Babyface Nelson. But as he was being casted as the Robin Hood, like in real life, J. Edgar Hoover, director of the Bureau of Investigations, used Dillinger as a campaign platform to evolve the BOI into the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI.
Okay.
So it started out as the BOI and became FBI.
What did BOI stand for?
Brewery.
Brewery?
I need a drink.
Brewery of Investigations. I would go there.
Right?
We're gonna drink beer and solve crime.
Hey, that sounds like a great brewery.
I'm saying. Set me up with true crime cases. Yes, I'm for it.
Bureau
Restaurant idea.
of
No one else steal it.
Investigations.
That's ours.
Yes, that's ours. That's mine. I'm claiming it right now.
Okay. What does it actually stand for?
Bureau of Investigations.
Wow. And then it became
So they-
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Right. And then they
Okay.
dropped the O, so it's the FBI instead of the FBOI.
Somehow that's not as catchy.
Yeah, not so much.
So we have Dillinger to thank for that.
Yes. That, like, there's so much that happens in this movie. So after the bank robbery, so they use all the hostages as shields to get in their car to make it out of town. The Washington, D.C. BOI director, J. Edgar Hoover, is frustrated after his latest request for additional funding is turned down after he admits that he has not made a single arrest in his lifetime.
Oh.
Yeah. Struggling to expand his bureau into a national police agency, he meets with Purvis and assigns him the lead of a manhunt for John Dillinger, announcing to reporters that he is declaring this the first war on crime.
Okay.
Yeah. So then,
Is that
Dillinger-
all true? Did J. Edgar Hoover really?
I didn't find anything on
Okay,
that,
but
but
he
he did start the FBI to go after Dillinger.
Okay, so yeah, there's
Yeah.
proof that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was going after organized crime.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
And then there was a love interest in the movie between Dillinger and Billy Freechet. Again, I'm murdering names, which I'm very sorry. And it said that, so although Billy Freechet was never given a third-degree interrogation by the FBI, as shown in the movie, the FBI agents did in fact perform similar tactics on Helen Nelson, the wife of Babyface Nelson, Alvin Karpis, and a John Dillinger associate in Chicago named James Probasco. In the instance of Probasco, he ended up falling to his death from an upper floor window. Officially, it is believed he committed suicide in order to avoid further interrogation. However, some historians believe that the FBI agents were interrogating him and attempted to make him talk by hanging him out the window, and then they lost their grip on him.
You see that in movies all the time. I didn't know anyone
Yeah.
actually did that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dirty.
Very dirty.
But
Like in the
that
movie,
had to be true.
it had to have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like in the movie, they really like beat her up pretty badly. Yeah. But it sounds like it didn't happen in real life.
But it was done to, you said
It was done
Babyface
to
Nelson.
Babyface Nelson's wife and a couple other people. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Just
drop
let him
the guy
go.
out the window.
Oops. I thought you were holding him.
Oh, crap. Where's our information now?
If anybody asks, he jumped out the window.
Right. Yep.
Head first.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? The laws were different back then, man. That was a different time.
Right. And to get these guys, because they were stealing 24 banks, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And especially when, what is that? Like, that's during the Great Depression, right? Or a little after?
You're right. 1929 to 1939. Yep. It was during the Great Depression.
So these are like, them taking all the money is like really hurting everything.
Yeah.
But that's where they could really be seen as the Robin Hood, because then they're spending it instead of just putting it back in the bank
to helping people out. Like they called him the Robin Hood, but you still were stealing people's money in a time that people needed that money.
Right. But that's where the banks are insured.
Yeah.
And people still have their money, but like they're still like, that's a lot of money to take at that point.
Well, the banks are going to get their money before people are all the time.
Oh, always.
Big business now. They make sure they get their money first.
Oh, I don't even want to get started on that.
Sore subject right now.
Yes. Well, not just right now, but yes. That one I can go on for days and days.
A whole nother episode there?
A whole nother episode, or just you and I talking about it? And me just ranting and ranting and ranting.
Can you sum it up in a sentence for our listeners?
Fuck corporate greed.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah. So back on topic, Purvis and his men, meanwhile, traced the overcoat that Dillinger gave to the female bank teller that he had taken as hostage. And she survived. And also tracked down the car dealer. And tracing the car, he leads a failed ambush at a hotel where he believes Dillinger is staying. One agent, Warren Barton, is gunned down by trigger-happy Babyface Nelson, who is the escape after a shootout. The next day, Dillinger and Pry Point and McClay walk into another bank wearing overcoats to hide their guns. Dillinger and Pry Point walk towards one guard, whom Pry Point overpowers at the same moment that Dillinger whips out his pistols in each hand as Pry Point and McClay hand the lobby to Dillinger. Dillinger leads the bank manager over to the vault at gunpoint and turning one gun on the manager and one on the lobby. So he's like, 2 guns.
Yeah. And he's just continuing to frickin' wreak havoc everywhere.
Everywhere. Anywhere that they can. Like, whoever has the most money, that's where they're going.
Did they
like
really use his
banks.
coat in the car to track him down?
I don't know.
So that was basically just the movie showing that they were closing in, but...
Right.
Okay.
The Little Bohemia, they got that pretty right. So the Little Bohemia was another failed ambush. So that's where they were hiding out, is in Little Bohemia.
Okay.
And so unfortunately, when a car leaves the lodge containing 3 locals, they mistake it for the robbers' vehicles, and they end up accidentally killing a few innocent civilians and tipping off the
it's them.
inhabitants inside. Yep. So with them doing that, it lets them know, oh crap. And so they take off running in the woods.
And innocent people got killed. Oh,
yes.
shit.
Yeah. So like what really happened was the Bureau received a call Sunday morning, April 22nd, that John Dillinger and several of his gang were hiding out in a small vacation lodge called Little Bohemia near present-day Manitowish Waters, Wisconsin. Special Agent Melvin Purvis and several BOI agents approached the lodge, where 3 men exited the building and began to drive off. Agents yelled for the car to stop, but the driver did not hear the agents. Agents opened fire and the driver was killed. And Dillinger and some of the gangs were upstairs in the lodge and began shouting out the windows while the BOI agents ducked for cover. Oh, they started shooting out the windows, not shouting. And Dillinger and his men went out the back and fled.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. So that really happened.
That one was real. That actually happened.
Yeah. Maybe not exactly how they show in the movie, because I mean, you really can't do that.
Yeah.
But
well, it all has to be Hollywooded up right nicely.
Right. They need to add the drama.
Yeah. I'm sure the real I have to look up the real Dillinger, because I'm sure he didn't actually look like Johnny Depp either.
No, he doesn't. And I wouldn't even say he's really that handsome. Like,
I mean, he's got a little bit of swagger. He's got a little bit of an arrogance to him. You can see that he thinks he's somebody. There's a couple pictures where he's got the little smirk.
Yeah.
He's no Johnny Depp, but you can see he's got a little bit of an arrogant swagger. We'll have to post some pictures of him.
Yeah. But Babyface Nelson, him and Pretty Boy Floyd look like they're 17. It's crazy.
I'm looking. Hold on. We're going to post all the pictures of these guys. Oh my gosh. He looks so young.
Yeah.
He looks like a kid. How old was he really?
I don't know.
This was 1931. How old was he? Oh my gosh. What's the other one? Babyface Nelson and
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Pretty Boy Floyd.
So Pretty Boy Floyd was born in 1904. So he would have been 30.
Wow. He doesn't look quite as young as Babyface Nelson, but then again, he had the name Babyface Nelson. So
yeah.
This was also the time when criminals were shot and their bodies were like put on display for people.
Yes, they did that with Dillinger, and like had over 1,500 people in 2 days come and look at his body. Or 15,000. Hold on. I have that number here because I was like, that's so crazy that this, like,
they did that. They were put on display. They did the same with Bonnie and Clyde, which we absolutely need to do the Bonnie and Clyde episode. But yeah,
absolutely.
They put their body on display for people to come and see.
Yeah, and they even like made death mask, which I didn't know what that was.
What is that?
There was 4 of them that they made from Dillinger. They would cast their face.
What did they do with the cast of their face?
I don't know.
Did they sell the cast of their face? Like as a
mask? I was looking up I looked it up.
That's creepy. What are the death masks?
A death mask is a likeness typically of wax or plaster of a person's face after their death, usually made by taking a cast or impression from the corpse.
What do they do with them? They just make them?
Death masks may be mementos of the dead or used for creation of portraits. So it was sometimes possible to identify portraits that have been painted from death masks because of the characteristics. Slight distortions of the features caused by the weight of the plaster during the making of the mold.
I have to think that this was like a thing that some people bought. Somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fact that they took 4 of them.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know. Where are those 4 now?
Right? Who owns those?
Yeah. Who owns?
Are they in display somewhere? Like with
do
they have anything other?
Rich mofo has those has them on display somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Like creepy. They probably have his guns too.
Probably.
Like, look what I got.
Whole morbid display.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we jumped ahead to his death, or his body. We don't even know how he died or anything. We're jumping so far ahead.
There's just so much. Like, it's such a long movie, but it was so good. So good. Like, I highly recommend everybody watch it.
I need to watch it.
Yeah. Maybe on our road trip in the next
There we go.
few days.
If you can pry me away from my morbid podcast.
No, because I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I have starred my favorite episodes to play for you, but I totally have.
You totally have.
I have.
Okay. So in the commentary, Michael Mann, who I believe is one of the directors or something, he has something to do with the movie. He reports that a crew member pointed out that the date was April 22nd. Mann then realized that they were filming on the anniversary of the actual shootout of the Little Bohemian Lodge.
Really?
Yeah.
They were shooting that scene on the actual day?
Yep.
Oh, I
at
love
the location
that.
I think they were at as well.
That's cool. Did you say April 22nd?
April 22nd. Yep.
Do you know what's cool about that day also?
Uncle Jay's birthday. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. I can't
So I
forget my
can
favorite people's
leave
birthdays.
this podcast and be like, honey, your birthday is not only Earth Day, it's also the anniversary of the shootout at the what was it
Little
called?
Bohemian.
The Little Bohemian. Who
Yep.
knew? Okay. I like that.
Yeah. While filming on location in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a boy
Oshkosh?
aged 11 told Johnny Depp he loved his fedora and would like to have one like it. Depp told the boy he would see what he could do about that, and after he finished filming, Depp sent the boy the hat in the mail.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Mhm.
Because Johnny Depp's amazing.
Right. He really
I've heard
is.
things about him tipping like $1,000 to waitresses or waiters just because.
Yes, please.
I know, right?
Yeah. John Dillinger's lawyer at Crown Point, Louis Pickett, never went to law school. He passed the bar. Yeah. He passed the bar on his fourth attempt, receiving his license to practice in 1920.
He passed the bar without ever going to law school?
Yep.
Okay, but that's kind of impressive. That's not kind of impressive. That's absolutely impressive.
Yeah. But that shows a different time too, because you should have went to school to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But the fact that he passed the bar,
study the books on your own so much that you like absorb the shit, but like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Or was he just like, these are the answers I got wrong, I'm just going to keep choosing until I get them right?
Maybe he took it 4 times. For John Dillinger's famous escape from Crown Point Jail, the filmmakers decided to film at the real jail, which has been closed and turned into a set of small shops. It became a hysterical site. They dressed the jail.
Hysterical or a historical site?
Oh my gosh. Historical.
Please leave that in because I really love that.
I will.
Was it hysterically historical or
historically
hysterical?
Yep.
Okay.
They dressed the jail in storefronts on the square to its original condition as it would have appeared in 1933. They also filmed the Little Bohemian shootout at the real lodge. Johnny Depp was staying in the same room the real Dillinger stayed in.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I also want to visit all of these places.
Yes, let's make a big long road trip.
Big long road trip.
We can't. We have
Probably
places to
not this road trip because this road trip I'm very goal oriented.
Yeah, we have a timeline.
Yes. I have to get there. I have stuff to get done.
So in the movie, John Dillinger and other bank robbers are seen having friendly relations with the Chicago mobsters, specifically with Philip DeAndre, a top lieutenant in the Al Capone mob.
Oh.
In real life, Capone was said to admire bank robbers and would often allow bandits safe haven in Chicago under the mob's protection.
Oh, I love that.
However,
Oh,
as
that's
shown in the
dirty.
movie, after Frank Nitti took over the mob following Capone's conviction for tax evasion, he cut off such resources to outlaws like Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, and Alvin Krappus because of the heat that was being brought down on the mobs because of the FBI's furious hunt for these men.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
sorry, guys, but we're
done. We're cutting
Yeah.
ties.
Yeah. We wish you the best, but you don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Literally. Oh, that's cool though. He's like, I'm not going to get into bank robbing, but you guys can crash here if you want to.
Right. This one's kind of funny. Dillinger's line to a bank customer during robbery, "We're here for the bank's money, not yours," echoes a similar exchange between Clyde Barrow and a farmer during a bank robbery in Arthur Penn's classic Bonnie and Clyde from 1967.
Oh, so
Is
that was
that
a
your
wink
money? Is that your money or is it the bank's? It's mine. You keep it then. There is some dispute over which real life bank robber spoke this line.
because there was so many of them back then.
Right.
Somebody said it. We just don't know who.
Right. Supposedly, John Dillinger said it to the bank customer while robbing a bank in Greencastle, Indiana. However, some crime historians attribute it to the line to Charles author Pretty Boy Floyd. So most crime historians agree that the psychotic Clyde Barrow never used that line.
Unless he heard Dillinger say it at some point and maybe
Well, they're from different timelines, but he could have definitely
saw it somewhere.
Saw it, yeah. Because Bonnie and Clyde was... No, because that's the book of 1967. When did Bonnie and Clyde...
It was around the same time period. I think one of them I just saw, Pretty Boy Floyd, was somehow connected to Bonnie and Clyde.
They both died in 1934 as well, at age 23.
They were so young. Oh my gosh.
And Clyde was 25. Oh, so young.
They were just babies. Something in here about Pretty Boy Floyd family couldn't turn Bonnie and Clyde away. So there must be some kind of connection there.
Yeah. So I was thinking that because of that 1967 right there that I'm looking at, that must be the book.
Yeah.
Not the actual people.
No.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah, it was during that same 20s, 30s time period.
Yeah. So during a getaway scene following a bank robbery, Johnny Depp drives a 1932 Studebaker that was used by Dillinger as a getaway car following a bank robbery in Greencastle, Indiana. The car was borrowed from a nearby auto museum during filming in Columbus, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Just to have the little mimesis moments in these movies of they're actually doing it at these places where life is imitating or art is imitating life.
I love that so much. See, those are the things that just fascinate me when it's the reality mixed in there.
Yeah, they did so much in this movie, that they recreated at the real locations using the same thing. It's crazy doing it on the same day.
Yeah. Although that might have been an accident, but still.
Yeah. I'm sure it was, but I mean, the fact that it happened.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's karma.
Yeah. Yes.
The fates aligning so the story could be told.
So John Dillinger was actually left-handed. The gun held by Johnny Depp is backwards.
Okay, because he's right-handed.
Yeah. So I think they messed up somewhere in the movie. Oops.
His gun is backwards.
When Dillinger returned to Chicago in the summer of 1934, he found a job as a clerk he had assumed the identity of Jimmy Lawrence, a petty criminal from Wisconsin to whom he bore a physical resemblance. At the time, the population of Chicago was about 1/3 people, and he believed that in a city that size, he could vanish into the crowd and at least for a while live a somewhat normal existence.
I think a lot of people still think they can do that in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many people in Chicago.
So many people.
No,
So
I've
many
never
people.
been to Chicago. I'd really like to go.
We've done it. You were supposed to go.
Chicago?
Yeah, weren't you supposed to go to one of our American Girl weekends?
No, I never got invited.
Sorry.
That's all good. I was a broke single mom for a long time, so there was no way I could go. You not asking me was me like having my feelings saved.
Well, that was when my kids were younger, and Emma was
She wasn't. She
wasn't to American Girl phase yet, but they have an American Girl store there, and we would take the train because at the time we were living in Michigan, we would take the train to Chicago, and then we'd stay at a hotel, and we'd go shop at the American Girl doll store, and we'd eat at the cafe, and it was just so cute. And
yes, I would have loved to have gone. However, I had a lot of important things to do.
You were a broke single mom at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't have a lot going on.
It does not hurt my feelings at all. Yeah. I know. I was going to say, I thought you were talking about the Vegas trip because I was supposed to go with you to Vegas.
Yeah, you're supposed to go to that too.
But then I was like, no, I'm not a third wheel.
Yeah, because then my husband decided he was going to go, and you were like, now it's weird.
Now it's weird.
So, funny story about the Chicago trip. Not.
I don't want to know anything of Vegas.
No, you don't want to know about Vegas. Although it wasn't anything bad. I won an award. Anyways, that was Vegas. When I went to Chicago, my eldest ordered a Shirley Temple. At the American Girl store, which was like, a Sprite with cherry syrup and then a strawberry on top. And as soon as they set it down on the table, as soon as it hit the table, she immediately dumped it in my lap.
Yes.
Immediately. Well, there's a mall attached to the restaurant. So grandma went and got me like a change of pants because I was soaked. I mean, I was,
and it's red, bright red.
I was like, it looked like I had massacred somebody. So I went in there and I changed my clothes. I tell these stories on the podcast and I'm like, what the hell? Why do I do these things on air? But I'm going to do it anyway. So I went in there and I changed my clothes and like, she got me everything. All right. Everything was soaked and I came out and she had gotten me a pair of thong underwear. And I remember I walked out of the bathroom and I got like maybe 5 strides out of the bathroom. And I was like, something's horribly wrong. And I immediately turned around and went back in the bathroom. Girl, I put my thong on backwards. I was flossing in the front. Like, that's not okay.
Oh, that's terrible. Ouch.
Yeah. I was like, there's something horribly going wrong here.
Horribly wrong.
Yeah, so now every time someone mentions Chicago, that's like, I'm like, thong front wedgie. That's where my mind immediately goes. I'm going to scar our listeners for life.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? That's what happens when you're getting dressed in a hurry in a freaking American Girl doll bathroom. Which, by the way, the bathrooms are full size. They're not American Girl doll sized. I feel I need to clarify. This story would be a lot funnier if they were actually American Girl doll sized.
It was. Okay. Back to Dillinger. It's true that John Dillinger enjoyed taking photographs of police when the opportunity presented itself. So, like, mid-robbery.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I don't know if it was mid-robbery, but that's what I think. Like,
say cheese.
yeah.
You know what? Looking at pictures of him with that arrogant smirk, I can absolutely see him like taking pictures of cops on the
Yeah.
sly.
Yeah.
So was Billy really his love interest? Was that a real person?
Billy Franchette, real name Mary Evelyn Furchette, was actually married to Wilton Spark at the time of her relationship with Don Dillinger.
Oh.
Yeah.
So not only was she into him, but she was married at the
She
time.
was married. She married Spark in 1932. He was convicted shortly thereafter of mail theft and received a 15-year term in Leavenworth with a transfer to Alcatraz in September 1934.
Billy had a type.
Very much.
Girlfriend had a type.
Yes.
Just say she was like, "Oh, you're a criminal.
Yep.
Tell me more."
So he was in jail when she met Dillinger.
Okay.
He was in jail when she met Dillinger.
Her husband was in jail.
So, yeah. Her divorce from Sparks wasn't finalized until the early 40s. She later remarried a man named Wally Wilson. The name she took to the grave. Wally died unexpectedly. Cause unknown, date unknown. You think she killed him?
Oh, she totally killed him. His name was Wally Wallace. Like,
no, Wally Wilson.
Still Wally Wilson. Like this was a straight, I'm going completely by his name. I don't even care. Like, in my mind, this was a straight-laced dude, and she married him for the money and then killed him. Like, that's what happened there.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she fell for a criminal, and then she fell for another criminal, and she was like,
Right.
I'm done.
She died in January 13. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. She died January 13th, 1969 of mouth cancer.
Oh, you know she smoked a lot. You know
probably.
she was smoking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's back when they thought it was good for you and they lit one off the other.
Oh, yeah. For sure. But she outlived like all of the other guys. I don't know if she did all like any of the crimes, but they all like died in like 1934s or whatever.
Was Dillinger when he died?
He was 30.
Oh, he was
31.
young.
So to answer your question earlier on how Dillinger died, he was betrayed.
Ah, yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait. You hang out with criminals all the time and you run the risk of being betrayed? Stop it.
Do you want to know who betrayed him?
I do.
A sex worker. Right? Of all things.
That's fantastic. She
Yeah.
gave him more than the clap.
This was not his sex worker.
It was just a sex worker?
Just a sex worker who was friends with the sex worker that he was with. I'll tell you the story.
Okay,
So,
tell me. I want to know.
On July 21st.
Aw, Ellie's birthday.
Ellie's birthday. Anna, I'm going to butcher this name, Kopianos.
Okay.
Known as the Woman in Red, contacted the FBI. She was a Romanian immigrant. She wanted to give information to them to keep her from getting deported. So that's why she betrayed Dillinger. She thought, oh, I could stay.
Did it work out? Did they let her stay?
Oh, no. No, she got deported.
Oh.
But she revealed that Dillinger was spending time with another sex worker named Polly Hamilton, and they were all going to go see a movie the following day. And she would wear an orange dress. So I don't know why they call her the Woman in Red when it was actually orange, but it was probably more reddish orange.
They couldn't decide what color it actually was.
Yeah.
Because the lady in orangish red doesn't sound as good.
No. She was unsure of the movie or the theater that they would attend. Either the Biograph or the Marlboro Theater.
So they just had to check them all?
Kinda. Anna stated that on July 22nd, Dillinger asked if she wanted to attend the movie with them. She asked where they were going. And he said to the Biograph Theater around the corner.
Okay.
So she faked an excuse, needing butter to fry up some chicken for dinner that night, and called Purvis and told him the plan. Purvis didn't kind of believe it, so he had a team go to both the theaters.
Okay.
Because he thought that most of the Chicago police were corrupt.
Which they
I
probably
can
were.
see.
Yeah, at
Oh,
that
yeah.
time.
Well, I mean, they dropped somebody out of the window.
Yeah, their methods were not that great.
No.
Sketchy at best.
Yeah. So they split up in two groups. And around 8:30 p.m., Dillinger was observed going into the Biograph Theater. And they were seeing the show Manhattan Melodrama. We need to look up and see what that is.
Oh, I know. I want to know what he was watching. Do you think they let him finish the movie before they arrested him?
They killed him.
Do you think they let him finish the movie before they killed him?
He did finish the movie.
That's
So
nice.
during the stakeout, the manager of the Biograph thought that the agents were criminals and called the cops. The cops responded, and the agents waved them off so that they didn't ruin their stakeout. So when the film ended, Purvis stood by the front door and signaled Dillinger's exit by lighting a cigar. Dillinger noticed him and moved ahead of his companions and tried going for his gun and trying to get into the alley.
Yeah.
They had the alley surrounded. So because he went for his gun, 3 agents shot Dillinger. Clarence hurt 2 shots. Charles 3 shots, and Herman had 1 shot.
Wow.
Dillinger was hit from behind and fell face first to the ground. There were 2 bystanders that got wounded because they're just willy-nilly shooting.
Surprising. There was just shooting everywhere.
Yeah. There were reports of people dipping their handkerchiefs and skirts into the blood as
Ew.
keepsakes.
Gross.
Right?
Gross.
So gross. Yeah.
Well, you know what? But how is it any grosser than, like, in today's day and age, people would immediately get their phone out and take pictures. So,
Right.
like,
Right.
there's just that morbid nature that human beings have of those moments.
Yeah. I don't know if I could. I'd be like running away, covering my eyes. Like, what did I just see? Like, traumatized.
He dead. Oh, he dead.
Dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Dead. Not just a little
But
dead. Wow.
That's how he died.
I'm secretly glad they let him finish his movie. And I don't know why. It's not logical at all. I'm just glad they let him, you know.
And in the movie, they kind of did it the same way, too. So they definitely, like, really took aspects and, like, really turned it into art.
I love that. It's just a mimesis.
It is.
Oh, goodness. Well, this has been, we have so much information untouched here, but
I know. And there's just so much that, like, could, like, keep going because then you can go into, like, the Babyface Nelson, the Pretty Boy Floyd, like, all of the gangsters. And then even since Al Capone and Bonnie and Clyde, like, there are so many things that, like, this one man, you can just keep going.
he had a very fascinating life.
Yeah. In this movie, like, it only touches on, like, parts of it.
Yeah.
Not even, like, all of
like,
it.
we haven't even started on, like, how he got his start or anything. Like, there's so much more to it.
Right.
We should have broke this up and done, like, a 2 or 3 parter, but
Yeah, we'll just do a summary this time, and then maybe next time we can do, like, a real deep dive into everything.
Everything Dillinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's leave it up to our visitors.
Our visitors.
Our listeners.
Yes.
If
Tell us if you
wanna
want to hear more.
Yeah, if you want a deeper dive into Dillinger, let us know.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So this, just to clarify, Pirates of the Caribbean and this time period is when you fell in love with Johnny Depp, right?
Yes.
I'm going to age myself so much and say I first fell in love with Johnny Depp when he was on the original 21 Jump Street.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
When I was 8 years old, I fell in love with Johnny Depp for the first time when I saw him on the original 21 Jump Street. I wrote a fan letter to him, wrote it out by hand. You know, there was no email. I had to like lick the envelope, put a stamp on it, drop it in the mail. But that was when I was 8 years old and he was on 21 Jump Street.
That movie was good.
It wasn't a movie. It was a TV
It was a
series.
show?
It was a TV series. There was movies that were made on it years later with Channing Tatum. But
see, I thought it was a movie and then it was made into another movie.
No, it was a series first. Okay. It was way before you were even born. Seriously, I was 8, so you weren't even born yet.
I was not born yet.
No, 3 more years and then you were born. But that's when he was on the series 21 Jump Street.
There was a movie that like I did watch, Cry Baby.
Yes.
And I saw that before. Like I really liked him in that, and I saw that before Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, he was fantastic in Cry Baby.
But it was something about that freaking guy liner, man. Oh. That just works for me.
Have you seen the app that's on TikTok right now that everybody looks good with Johnny Depp's facial hair? And like you can
what?
Yes, there is there is a filter on TikTok right now where it says everybody looks good with Johnny Depp's facial hair, and like you can put it on yourself. And myself and both of my daughters did it last night, and all of us were like, I don't hate it. Like it's not
I'll have to do it and send
bad. It to you. You have to find it because something about his facial hair, everybody looks good with it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I think we should let the poor people leave.
I think you're right.
Jobs.
I think we have. But if they want to hear more from us, they can find us on our social media
at the Mimesis Podcast on Facebook.
And on Instagram at
the Mimesis Podcast.
Or they can email us at
the Mimesis Podcast at gmail.com.
Or find our website at
mimesispodcast.com.
There you go.
I almost said the.
I know you did. You got it this time. All right. Until next time.
Bye.